Hi there, I've got an absolute gorgeous card today with a mixture of both Christmas dies and everyday dies in one of my favorite color combinations, milk and black. Hope you like this one. So to show you what we'll be using today, we have the Snowflake corner border and tag. We're also going to be using the St. Lucia die set from the Caribbean collection, as well as this little edge from the Labyrinth diagonal. And we're going to be doing a bit of embossing with our Frosty Swirls embossing folder. And a couple other products just to introduce them. I have the self-adhesive pearl strips in cream, as well as the Precious Sparkle, and these are the Sparkle mica pigments, and we're going to be using the Enchanted gold out of the set. Let's set these aside and we'll get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is some embossing. And whenever I do embossing, I like to pre-cut the card to the shape that I want, the size that I want ahead of time, because I find sometimes it's a little bit difficult once you have your embossing done to get a nice clean cut. So I'm going to be doing a large piece and a small piece. So we'll go ahead and put those in. Just pop them in together like that. And this is a very random pattern, so it doesn't really matter where you put it in the folder. So we're going to run this through the grand caliper. I've got the base plate on the bottom, the sandwich, the folder with the card in the middle, and then the raspberry adapter plate on the top. There we go. Okay, so I've got my two pieces here. Let me just carefully peel this one away. Get a hold of this one here. We'll set this off to the side. So you can see I've got two beautifully embossed pieces. Now I've gone ahead and put them into place. I'm going to use the larger piece on the top here, and then I've got what I call a channel for our center feature there, and then the bottom piece down below. So I'll just set these to the side. The next thing I want to show you is I've cut the snowflake border, and I've just done it out of milk card. I'm going to give it a quick spray with some permanent spray adhesive. And I'm also at the same time going to do my Let It Snow, which I've cut from the tag that's in that same set. And we'll just glitter them both at the same time. Okay, so I'm using the diamond sprinkles. Just going to cover it all really nicely. Gives it a really pretty shimmery effect. There we go. Tap that off. Tap that off. And it's very nice and shimmery without adding extra color to your card, and you can see the sentiment right through it, so it's really pretty that way. Okay, so I want to seat this border right down in that, and I've gone ahead and cut one to size just to fit in there. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue on the back. Put it along that edge and some of the larger areas on the back to hold it down nice and firm. There we go. Get those edge pieces so they'll sit nice. Get a hold of that. Pop that right down into the channel. Excuse me while I lean over a little bit just to make sure it's nice and even there. Put that little tip under there. There we go. Oops. Okay, so you've got a really pretty sparkly border coming through in that channel. Okay, so now for the focal element. What we'll do next is cut our backing piece. Now I've taken a piece of milk card and I've just covered it with a sticky adhesive sheet to get it ready. I'm going to be using the outside die from the St. Lucia to cut that shape. So bring over our cutting plates. I'm going to pop that down and let me just get a bit of tape. We'll tape it into place. There we go, make sure I'm on there. We'll run that through. Okay, now, so I've cut this to shape. The first thing I want to do is put an edge around it. So I went ahead and used the same edge and the inside die from the St. Lucia and cut them together out of black card. So that gave me this piece. And it's a little bit flimsy. You can pull it out of shape fairly easily, so be very careful with it, but it creates a really pretty border. Now what I like to do is just lift up the edge of the sticky sheet and get it started. And I'm just going to start with one end of it and lay this down. Just line it up, and you'll have to excuse me while I lean over a tiny bit. Just want to make sure I'm on there nice and straight. There we go. And you can peel this back and kind of walk your fingers back. Get that right into place along the edge. Like I said, you can pull it just a tiny bit. There we go. And we'll just peel the rest of that off. Pop that into place like that. Try and get that all nice and centered around the edge. And you can use the back of this just to make sure it's pushed down really nicely against that. So all of this is exposed adhesive now. So we're going to go over and use our Enchanted Gold mica powder from our precious sparkle set and a little brush. And what we're going to do is dust this. Just dust all that adhesive. There we go. And I'll just do a quick job here. And it's got a really soft, very, very shimmery, translucent color to it with a little bit of a gold coming through. It's very subtle, very, very pretty, I think. There we go. And I'm going to have a little bit of that center that's going to be covered, so I don't need to do all of it, but I want to make sure I get enough of it done there. Okay, so now we can dust away all the extra little bit. In fact, let me just get a piece of kitchen roll, and we'll just wipe the extra bit off of there. There we go. Okay, so that will create the background for our focal element. Move this aside. A couple pieces of mounting foam on the back here. That will secure it into place. There we go. Pop that right onto the top part of that card. Now, for the center of that, what I'm going to do is take the St. Lucia cut out of milk card, and that's that pretty decorative piece, and I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to cut it in half. And then take my tag, which I've already glittered, put a little bit of mounting foam on the back here, and I'm going to pop that right up off the top of that, just so it peeks out the bottom, and we'll trim the extra bit away. And then we'll use the other side of this on the bottom. And it'll just fill in that nice little gap that's in the center of that pretty. There, that should work. Oh, let's put a little bit of glue on that. We've covered that piece there. So you've just built it up with a little bit of filigree around the edge of that, and one more piece of mounting foam on the back there. Should hold that in place nicely. And that's still a little bit sticky there, so I think we can just peel the backing off of this and seat it right in the middle of that. There we go, so pretty. Now to kind of bring out our channel, what I've done is I've used the pretty little teardrop edge from the Labyrinth, and I've cut it out of black, and I've run a strip of the self-adhesive pearls down the center. And remember, those were double pearls, so we just have to cut down the center of those, and you can just have a single row for the edge. We'll just put this on here, line that up. Looks nice. And I've got a bit of mounting foam on the back of this one. Pop that right down here. Get it all nice and straight. There we go. So that really draws your eye in there. A couple little pearls on your snowflakes, and you have an absolute stunner of a card. I'm sure you'll agree any of your friends would love to receive a card like this for Christmas.